Hello everyone and welcome to Factorio. I'm Par and today I'll be playing DeathWorld. So in the previous episode we finished this wall, right? We built the wall and we should be protected for the most part. I wonder why we don't have the oil. And in today's episode I want to focus on how exactly we can load the trains, supply trains that will be delivering armor, because this thing just doesn't work. It's so bad that I have to manually trigger the deliveries. So we'll be focusing on building supply train loader, and like I used various kind of train loader designs in the past, and none really really worked the way I want. So let's figure out what's wrong here. Crude oil. Okay, it's clear what's wrong. So, and none were really working exactly the way I wanted them to work, unfortunately. So today I'll try to take like my implement my take on those. I was thinking a little bit about how I want the loader to work, and basically the idea is I'd like it to like, in case we request multiple items, like multiple types of items to be delivered, like loaded into the chain, if some of these items are available inside the logistic network, I believe this should have fixed the problem. Yes, we are getting crude oil. That's good. So in case some of the items are available, I want them to be loaded into the chain. That means that if I were, for example, to have like a constant combinator, speaking of combinators, we should build them. Let's run up there and build some constant combinators. If I wanted to have a constant combinator defining the items that should be requested from logistic network and loaded into the chain, the requesting from logistic network part would be done how? We would be, yeah, I need to remove this one. We will be connecting them to requested chest, right? Where is our requested chest? We'll basically have a connection like that. However, we cannot specify both read contents and set requests, right? And the way that you can make sure that like all items that should be loaded into the chain are loaded is either if you have unconditional loading, that's like one way, which is, now that I think about it, it's actually not that bad of an option. Actually, that's alternative. I haven't thought about it. What I want to do I wanted to implement it with intermediate chest, because this way we can check the content of the chest and check what's missing on the chain, and tell inserter to kind of move only that item. However, now that I think about it, there is a way, I think, without that, if you don't use filter inserters but are using just regular inserters. Okay, let's get some stuff. I also want... I'm missing stack inserters and stack filter inserters. Let's get them. So we have a couple of inserters here and there. I think this will be enough to start with. Maybe it will not, we'll see. It's not that hard to fix it. And as for the trains, we basically have like lots of wagons. Let's say we want to figure out how to fill like a particular wagon. Let's say this wagon with the stuff. Let's call this one test. How we will call it? It will be loader, right? We will want to use substations for transferring the signals, and the way I like to do things, I'd like a red color to be used to specify what we actually have. In this case, it's 10 contents, and I also want to read stop train, like I want to be able to tell that the train is there or not. And I'd like to use green line to specify what kind of stuff we want to have requested. So for example, if we can't I like request some of these combinators, like constant one, I don't know, like 40 would be good, I guess. This one is also 40, would be nice to have. And this one, 40 combinators. And I probably also want to request green chips because for some reason I don't have them in my inventory. Okay, so meanwhile let's just craft this one. So let's say we'll have this combinator specifying what exactly we want to have in the chain. And we'll tell it that, okay, we want to have rails, let's say like 50 rails. We want to have storage chests, maybe like 10 storage chests. And we want to have, what else, substations, right? Let's say 40 substations. Let's increase this to like 100 or something. So that's what we want. Right. I need to... we'll have some conditional tar. So now we can see that on the red line we have a train signal with like 40, and on the green one we have what we actually want to get. I want to take the following approach. I'm fine with potentially overloading the chain here with some extra items, but I want to have fast and precise unloading of those extra items from the chain. So let's see. So fast and precise means... Okay, are we getting those? I don't think we're getting this place. It means that we want to export and place things into the provider chests, and we want to take only the stuff that we do not need to have in the chain. So this inserter will be fast inserter. It will be using maximum stack size, and this one will be using smallest inserter. This is heavily inspired by another design of supply chain loader. I'm not gonna tell it yet. If you have ideas, please leave a comment. I will actually be using like that method that I'm not talking about now for managing train deliveries to outposts. I'm only using like a kind of my interpretation of the loader, the one that I feel, the one that I like more. But overall, the approach will be explained in other episodes, I guess. If you have an idea of what I'm talking about, try to guess, and we'll see whether you're correct. Right, so this requested chest will be requesting stuff from the logistic network based on the green signal. Kinda, not exactly green signal. We need to look at like the difference between green and between what we want and what we have, right? We want to subtract red signal, what we have, from green one, what we want. And this one, as I said, will be using the... let's do this... Wait, we are not getting? We are not getting them? That's really surprising. It's okay. It's fine. We'll use decider combinator here. We will basically check. We'll perform the following check. If the item, if we have more than 12 excess of a particular item, then we'll just tell this inserter that we need to take it away from the chain. And here we'll do the same thing, except we'll be using it if we have less or equal than 12 items. So if our excess of something is not that great, is not that high, then we will use this inserter. right? Okay, what is remaining? We actually need to calculate here. We need to calculate the excess of items. That means that we need to take red signal and subtract from it the green one, right? So let's do this. We will be taking, we'll be negating here the thing. We are negating the, which are we negating? We want to take red and subtract green, right? So this will be green, and another connection will be red. So when you're connecting things with like wires, colored wires, you got to be what's going on? What's going on? Is this bad? I think it's potentially bad stuff. Potentially bad stuff is happening. Let's go there and it will do something. And to be careful not to kind of accidentally transmit the signal along the lines when you use the same colors. So that's why here I'm using red wire to connect them, because I do not want to transmit the output from this combinator, which is like -10, -100, whatever, back into here, right? I don't want to do that because it just wouldn't make sense. So if this thing is positive, we want to export the number of items. Let's take a look. Right, so right now we don't have access, but let's say we had some. Maybe not rails, maybe pipes, right? So this is telling us that we actually have too many pipes in the wagon. And now we need to connect that output to the store. And with that, check this out. We are unloading these pipes, right? We are unloading them using like inserter with unlimited hand stack size, and then with the limited one with just one. Right? So this seems to be working. Now, another part that we need to do, we actually need to connect, as in like, we need to request things from the, let's think. We need to request the stuff that we want from logistic, from logistic network. Right. For that, we need to basically have like the opposite signal, right? Instead of subtracting green from red, we want to subtract red from green. We want to see which items we still need to deliver. So we need to, what did I say? We need to subtract red from green. So we need to negate red one here. So this will be our red negation. The left one is green negation, and this one is red negation. So we need to connect it with red signal. We are connecting it with red. And we see that we have, okay, -100. That means that from the request of 100, we actually do not want to we do not need to request from logistic network 100 rails that are already in there. Okay, and we need to add a connection, so we will be getting green connection here, and on top of that, red connection here, the negated one. So now if we look and say like set requests, it's not asking us to get the rails, right? That's important. Another thing that I want to do, I want this chest, like we need to make sure it doesn't overflow. So the way I think we'll be fixing that is we'll have an inserter here, and this inserter will work when the chain is absent. This inserter will work when the chain is present, right? So let's do this. Let's the chain presence is the red signal, so let's connect it here. We're connecting this one. If the train is absent, t equals 0. This is if the train is present. That's how it's gonna work. Now, the issue is that we have infinite loop of requests. We are like requesting and requesting and requesting same stuff. We need to count the still, like the content of this still chest as if it belongs, as if it's on the red wire. Red wire meaning like the wire going here. And this can be done pretty easily. We are just taking this time green wire. It has to be green in order not to kind of contaminate the thing, in order not to export it where it shouldn't be exported. Just connecting it here and kind of adding it up with the red wire. And now look at that. We are actually asking only for substations, right? Because we want 40 substations, we have 22 here, and we are asking for 17. Filters 17, you can see that. Now, the really the only remaining thing, it seems, I mean, it seems to be working. We could try like giving it some extra things like iron plates, and it's getting removed. We need to enable this inserter, and we want it to work only in the following case. We want it to transfer only the items that are present in this chest and that are missing in the train, that are not yet in the train. So how are we gonna do it? It's also a pretty standard trick. We'll basically have two decider combinators outputting signal 1, and another one will be checking whether both of them gave us 1 or not, right? So this, let's kind of do maybe something like this. If it will be outputting 1, and another one will also be outputting 1. This will be connected using green wires to control inserters. We will be setting filters here, and we would want to get the input kind of like that. Okay, now the question. We need to answer two things. First, whether the item is present in the chest. That's simple. We just take it. You just need to be careful in terms of how exactly we are connecting it. I guess green would work, but we could also use red in order not to interfere with anything at all. So this is checking whether the item is present. Here it is. The item is present in the chest. This condition needs to make sure that the item is needed by the train. What does it mean? The item is needed. We need to... Okay, we need to think now. Item is needed if red is lower than green. Right? If red signal is lower than green, then the item is needed. We are flipping green here, negating green. We have red. So we need to make sure that we're basically checking whether the sum. So here we are checking the sum is larger, means we have excess. Here we want to do the opposite. We want to check whether the sum is smaller. Or we could use... Oh no, we cannot use this one because it has like some extra inputs. Right. We cannot just use this thing because it also consumes, like takes signals from this chest. It kind of counts what we have in this steel chest. But for this logic, we really need to limit it only to wagons. So let's try to do it with these ones. Well, we don't really have many options, right? So this negation, it got to be green. It's like green is an input. Let's do it like this. And we need to have red connection like that. And now we see that the stuff that we require, it's actually negative. So let's switch it. If it's lower than 0, we'll be outputting it, and it seems like it works. Okay, we can actually move this thing. Let's move this because we have some space. Let's make it super compact, like that. So let's take a look how it works. And I added a chest here just so that robots don't have to fly that far away. We have some extra things that are kind of present there. Oh, we have lots of deliveries actually. This is bad, right? The fact that we have so many things requested. I believe it's a leftover. What we could do, like if the chain leaves, then suddenly what happens, all of that is getting moved in the active provider chest and kind of returned. And this one, oh, interesting side effect. That's really cool. What happens is that this requester chest starts requesting next batch to fill up the chain. This is great. I really like how it works. And if the chain parks, then suddenly it gives it to this chest. It's being loaded if it needs to be loaded. If not, it will just stay here and yeah, things are just staying there. What are we missing? Wait. But, oh, it's a leftover. It's a deliver, but it's not part of the filter. Okay, that's fine. That is okay. So, this is looking great, in my opinion. We have awesome thing. What I'd like to have some kind of monitoring system that tells us how many, like, how full the chain is. So let's do this. And we also need to be telling the chain when it's full that it can go away. Like that it can basically leave. How are we gonna do that? This might be a bit tricky. Especially because I don't have a clear plan for that, but we'll figure it out. We probably want to have something similar, right? Let's see. The divisions, I want to report how many percent of the items are either delivered or are still missing. So we'll be doing divisions. In Factorio, divisions are rounded down. So if you have very few missing items and we round the stuff down to get percentage, it will be 0. It will be counted as if we do not as if we are not missing anything. So what we want to do, we want to count the items that are actually present. Wait, but we still need to start with the items that are missing. Okay, let's do this. We basically need to have something similar. We need to take the items that are missing. Okay, we can do that. We can totally do that. The items that are missing, that means that they are requested, but they are not in the... Right, these are the items. How could I do that? Okay, we can kind of cheat the system a little bit. We could say that, you know what, we also want to have like some of this there, and yeah, that's enough. We want to have some of those there. So now we know that we're actually missing 10 signals because no one bothered to load them. Like this thing loads only the stuff that is... Why is that actually the case? Why does it load only the stuff that is requested? It shouldn't, right? It will load up all of that. Right, it will. It totally will. But I probably don't want to do that. I probably do not want to do that. How can I make sure that doesn't happen? Because I want to... I don't have a choice, I have to use red connection here, like that. I think that's the way we do this. Right, let's see. Let's say we don't care about what's inside the chain. Let's clear this. We're removing everything. Wait, yes, it's off. It should get emptied. Oh, and this part is not getting emptied. That's... You know what? That's kinda nice. Let's do something different here. Let's say we want to load like 100 of transport belts. Note, it's not getting loaded, the chain remains empty, and if you turn this on, then things are happening, something will get loaded there. It's okay, we'll figure this out. The important part is that now it's saying that we're actually missing. What are we missing? We are missing these things, substations, and we are missing belts. Nice. And let's, you know what, let's say that all of this missing stuff will go to letter M. This is the number of missing items. The number of the requested items that we have, it could be like just connect it kind of like that and say if the item is more than 0, then we are saying, okay, input count, saying this was requested R. We are requesting 250 items. Is this true? Yes. And we are missing 100. So now what we need to maybe I should move this here. I'd like to multiply the number of missing items by the number of requested. Okay, oh sorry, by 100. Number of missing multiplied by... Oh wait, but that wouldn't work. We cannot make it work like this. We have to specify, we need to figure out how many items are actually present, right? Right, we have to do that. So let's say we'll have a connection, maybe like red, well, red wire, whatever. We'll say requested minus missing, and these are the items that are present. So we have 150 items that are present, and now we can multiply the number of items that is present by 100. Let's do that. We are doing that. So now we know that the number of items that we have is 100. Oh wait, not 100, it's like 15,000. And now if we take... Wait, what is... This is output. It goes here, and there is also M that is going there. I don't like that. Let's use green connection here. Let's say this is green connection. We want to take the number of items that are present and divide it by the number of items that are requested. And that's basically our like fraction F. We have 60% of our request kind of fulfilled, right? 60%. Next. Next, how do we make it display nicely this amount? Let's say we'll have lights. I want to color them. How do we color them? How do we color stuff? Okay, we need a couple of things. We need a way to tell the station. We need a way to tell the station that everything is fine. We'll be doing that with this one. Oh, right. So, right, I figured this out. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome. We'll be using colors. Yep. So, if everything is fine, we want to color the slime green. So let's say we'll be outputting green signal if missing is equal to 0. So we want to connect the missing M here, input count M, and let's connect it as a green, because it's not used yet. Yes, we'll connect it as a green. So if M equals 0, this will be coloring this whole thing with green. I need a combinator to be able to tell the order. So red has priority, then green, then yellow. And these are the colors that I want to use. So let's say by default we'll have yellow color. Let's do this. By default we'll have yellow color. We will connect the stuff here. Oh, maybe we could make it nice and kind of connect it like this. And we'll be doing that based on F, based on signal F. If F, I guess this one needs to be connected all the time. Let's check this. This one only if F is equal to, well, let's say more than equal, but it's essentially the same. It's exactly the same as being equal. It can never get more than 100, I hope. If it can, we can have some issues. So we have 3 of this to split 100%. So let's say this will be 25. This will be 50. And this will be 75. Right? So that's how we'll be coloring them. Except we have this combinator and we can actually use red thing here. If F is less than how much? Let's say less than 50. Okay, it's actually F is more than 50, that's why it's looking good. Do we really want it to be like... Because right now the way it looks is 2 lamps is basically yellow, 3 or 4. Sorry, 2 lamps is red, 3 or 4 is yellow, and the 5th one means that it's green. And it also means that, right, we can actually take this condition and send it to the train. Maybe we'll send it via green wire. Wait, I do not want... I don't want to send all other things over there. So we'll have green wire connecting to the train station. That means that I am forced to kind of unfortunately use red wire for these things. And here we want to have a connection using a red wire, like this. Right. And this train has access to circuit, and we'll be using condition green is, okay, let's just say more than 1 or equal, more than 0 equal 1, let's say. We want to be really precise. Right, and if we disable this part that we are not sure what it's doing, it suddenly turned green. Check this out. If we say, oh, why is this green by default? It's supposed to be red. Right, because we have not connected things. We can actually connect stuff like this. Nice, nice. This is looking good. So, by default the chain is red. If the chain is gone, then fraction is 0. If we turn it on, it's still 0. Okay, and if the chain arrives, then it should slowly be getting filled by robots. Did I enable the thing? I did enable it. Right, and we have filters. Just for some reason they got moved. Okay, let's monitor this one. The percentage. 3%. It's not looking good. Not looking good so far. 4%, 5%, 6%, 10%. And the reason I want to have this percentage is I might add a clock in the future here. That will be, okay, that means that we want to have this thing as more than 0 just in case. But anyway, I want to have a clock potentially at some point. Let's enter 26%. That if the chain has been at a particular percentage, like relatively high, long enough, then we will just allow it to go, to travel anyway. So we could like add an extra control block right there. Look at this. Percentage is going up. 50, 60. Why 60 and it's still... Wait, there is a problem. It's not supposed to be red. If F is less than 50, then we are exporting red. But otherwise, it's supposed to be... Oh, we don't have the connection. Right. That's the issue. Like this. Okay, let's try to turn this off. Let's turn it. Let's wait a little bit. Okay, let's check. So now it's red. We will wait a bit and it will become yellow. I'm really surprised that they decided not to use the storage chest. That's really strange. Whatever. It's okay. Okay, it became yellow when F became 50. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. It will load everything at some point. $58, $59. Okay, let's wait. I just want to make sure that this thing is working correctly, because I'll be copy-pasting, like I'll be copying this design a lot. Do we need anything else? Written count? Nope. Set train limit. We want to use only one train per station. I don't think we'll have more trains. Well, the thing is, we can actually duplicate the stations to kind of have multiple trains with kind of the same configuration, more or less. 7. Okay, look at this. And now it's working correctly. Let's check something. If we add this thing that cannot be fulfilled, it's no longer, so it's basically 60%. Let's try something really hard for these circuits. Let's say we are missing just one belt. And yes, it works. It basically counts it as, like, rounds it down, right? And it's actually not counting it as a full. We still have one missing item. And yeah, if you have missing items, the train cannot be full, it cannot be green. Oh, interesting. So we have one condition for the number of lamps, and this lamp is supposed to be lit up only if like our rounding is correct, and we have a separate, like, proper, in a way, proper logic for whether the train is ready to depart, whether it's like fully loaded, etc, etc. Okay, this is looking pretty good. let's do the following. Let's create a blueprint of that thing. It's really important. Create a blueprint, and we will call it supply train loader. We probably want to have like train and requester chest, something like this. Okay, let's save this. I want the blueprint to be saved somewhere. Let's say here. We built it. We have a really well. This is not needed. Now we have a really good design that could be used to load our trains. And maybe we should actually switch this train that is very, okay, not very, I guess somewhat questionable, to use this loading mechanism to kind of make sure that it's working the way we want it to work. I'm really excited about this. I think it's looking really good. And the train is full. Not that we... Okay, we probably shouldn't have copied this request, but it's okay. The important part is that the blueprint is there. This episode was a little bit long, but we did a really like a huge thing. We achieved a huge thing. We do not have bullets over there. That's bad. Okay, we designed and kind of created a kind of logic block for loading the trains with the items that are requested in the combinator. And again, the best part of this thing is that the best part is that if the items are only partially available in the network, they will still be sent into the wagon, because we are using this steel chest in the middle, and we have like this three decided combinators with like this trick. So this is really important. It allows us to continue filling the train even if some items are not available in the network. Because if you, for example, if you put a condition, like if you use a filter inserter here and set some filter there, then it might have been stuck waiting for the item. Like it could have gotten some condition, some filter for the item that is not actually being delivered into this. I mean, it requested just tries to get it, but it's not present in the network, and no item actually arrives. So it could be full with like other items, but the loading doesn't happen. We fixed it. We don't have this problem with this build. Awesome. Okay, let's do this. Let's finish the episode. Thanks everyone for watching. This was episode 33. I hope you had fun watching me design this, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!